this one. No, okay, not quite. Let's check this one again. Sorry, I'm cooking at the same time, but anyways, hi! My name is Katarina. This is Katarina's garage. Although, technically, Katarina's kitchen. Gotta be precise. It's kind of funny because I forgot to put this away because I was fixing it here in the kitchen. But, you know, the one and only trophy that my car actually has won, which is funny because of what it's for. It was for a dyno day. It was actually on Mother's Day, and it was female with the lowest horsepower to run on the dyno 2023. Which, I have already beat that with the last time I got the car dyno because it was running like absolute crap. Bad tank of gas, and to be honest, it made like 58 horsepower. It was really bad. But, you know, that's totally fine. It happens. No big deal. You know, it's just how it goes. And actually, I do have that. Well, I didn't crack it. But, yeah, no, I'm just here. And, you know, so... But basically today, if you haven't seen some of the updates, which I'm going to do like a full video on this sometime this week, is... So there was... I changed out the fuel pump on the Capri finally. I've had the parts for days now, but it's been too hot. Finally today was a good enough day to work on the car. I should have changed the valve cover gasket as well, but I didn't, and that'll be in time. Not really a big deal. I'm not too worried about it. So... but I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. So far, mine was pretty good. Oh, it's still not. I might need to kick up the temperature a smidgen. Because this is a bigger pan than what I normally do with grilled cheeses. So, yeah, so changed out the fuel pump, and I do have the valve cover gasket here, and I should have changed it out, but I didn't. Oh well, I'll do that tomorrow. Not a big deal. You know, and yeah, so I drove the Capri for the first time in a little while, and she fired right up, and no big deal. That car, you know, once I iron out a couple of little things, it'll actually be a really good car for me, or this should. It's already, we've already had to replace quite a few parts in that car, like, we had to go through the entire braking system. And up next is going to be, like, rotors, wheel bearings, and seals for the front. That'll be coming up, I don't know, whenever I can get up to Edmonton next in the Capri, which it might be a little bit, because I don't know, trying to figure out what I'm going to do exactly with stuff. Because I would like to run the Capri on the dyno again. I'd like to run my Mustang on the dyno again with that Holy Carb, but I need to get... Okay, so that's... Oh, that's why. Okay. Cooking with Katarina. Not going so well. Because I made a discovery, and I feel dumb about it. Here, let's move y'all back down there. There we go. Yeah, because the damn parts of the pan weren't on the burner, and that's why I wasn't cooking. But, like, the one thing is, so there's only one dyno day left that I'm aware of, unless if something comes up in the meantime, that would be a last-minute thing. So, you know, unless if I can get up sometime and dyno the cars individually, because I'm only going to be able to dyno one, because I can't get both the cars up there unless if I work out some sort of a deal to get both cars up there with my buddy Keith or something. You know, just how it goes, right? Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, okay, that one's good. So I can do this. Or, no, that one's not good yet. No, it's not good, it's not good. Okay, what about this one? See, this one's good. Okay, I can do that. I forgot to grab the cheese out of the fridge. Sorry. Like I said, but I can still see what's going on screen. I'm gonna need more cheese soon too. Ugh. I don't really have the money, but that's all good. I'll figure out something. So, But yeah, so yeah, fuel pump has been swapped out in the Capri. I've been dealing with a lot of trolls on TikTok, because that's just the nature of TikTok. It's quite a toxic place, to be honest. I like TikTok as a whole, but like, there's a lot of the community where it's just terrible, and I don't get it. But at the same token, YouTube can be similar in that regard, though. Oh, sorry, I just missed your message. Give me a second. Hey, T Scott, how's it going? Definitely appreciate you coming up to the live. You're watching me cook terribly because I am cooking grilled cheeses, and I'm doing a very bad job of it at the moment. Okay, that one is good. Okay, come on, cook that side already. I should have just went cooking time with Kat. You know, screw the automotive side, but no. This channel is an automotive channel, and I'm just cooking on the side here because I'm hungry, and you know, it's one of these things, and I don't feel like barbecuing this late, so, but yeah, let's see here, how this one, it's a little better, actually that'll work. Oh, your HVAC system died? Oof. That would suck. I know that if I didn't have my, well, hang on. Your HVAC in your car or at your home? Because both of which are bad, but one is much worse than the other. Because, like, I know that if I didn't have the air conditioning running all the time here, I'd be screwed. Like, I would not be able to function. Not in that kind of freaking heat. Hell no. At home? Oof. Yeah, see, that's rough. I mean, like, I just have a portable air conditioner that I run pretty much 24/7 during the summer. It's very rare that I actually, like, I will shut it off at night, but that's about it. And then, well, you can kind of see part of it. Or actually, no, you can't. There's bags and stuff in the way. But, you know, I have a portable air conditioner, and then I have one of these big fans right here that is helping blow the air. Because it's only 15,000 BTUs, I think, for that air conditioner. So actually, with the fan, it just helps out a little more with moving the air. Oh, keep going. Bit. But, yeah, so yeah, basically, like, today I swapped out the fuel pump in the Capri, and that's going good now. We'll see if my theory was correct, all the terrible fuel mileage that car gets. It actually runs pretty good, although it does need a little bit of tuning. I'm not sure if that might be spark plugs or if that's just the carburetor itself. Because if that's the carburetor itself, well, I've got a 2-barrel carb with that car's name on it. That will happen there, and then I'll just rebuild that carburetor that came off of Stitch. Because I have another adapter as well, which it's a different adapter than what I have, but... fair enough. I mean, broken finger debt first. Broken finger debt. That's a new one, I'm not gonna lie. I never thought I'd hear those words combined together in a single sentence. But, okay, that one's done. What about this one? Is this one done too? Nope. Gotta go a ways with that one still. Ah! Do not drop that. And I didn't even use this one, so I could just rinse off all the butter that I put on it and realizing I didn't need it. All there. Oh, oof. Yeah, see, insurance can be such a pain in the ass, to be honest. Like, well, it's great when they're on our side, but insurance is rarely on our side. Insurance always wants to pay the least amount possible while you're trying to get the most amount possible. And, you know, it can be rough, right? Um, and I'll need a drink. Couldn't remember if I had one over there or not. But, you know, it's one of these things, and like, you know, because with my Capri, because now all I need to do is swap the valve cover gasket before I get it up to Edmonton. And I should change the oil, but I think I'll just change the oil in Edmonton. Hi, Stacy. How's it going? Hope you're having a fantabulous evening. It's always nice when I get, you know, some of the regulars in here. Because lately it hasn't been, and then my last live, it ended abruptly because of a friend of mine that, sometimes the ego gets the best of him, and I was not having it, so I kind of got mad at him. But, you know, you're working on the Mustang. Nice. Very nice. What are you doing on said Mustang? Or are you working on it right now, or are you working on it today? Go. Let's see here. I don't think I missed a message today. Nope, I have not. And apparently, people are commenting on my TikToks at the moment, so trying to get the neutral safety switch adjusted properly. Ah, fair enough. So, you know, that's something that if I were to take my car to a track and get tech done, that's something I would have to add as a neutral safety switch. But it kind of sucks because that car, if it was a manual from the factory, would never have come with a neutral safety switch anyways. Because the one I'd be racing is obviously Stitch, not the Capri. Which the Capri is unnamed as of yet. I don't know what I want to name her. In time, I'll figure out something. I might do, you know, more of the Lilo and Stitch theme, but we'll see. Because there's a few things that I'd have to do. So, I would have to have dual return springs on the carburetor. I would need to have a neutral safety switch. And then some of the minor ones are just mainly cleaning out the car and making sure it's not leaking a bunch of fluid. So, other than that, but oddly enough, coming up, so not this weekend. Next weekend there's a car show, which I'm going to be taking the Capri to, which will be the first time I have showed the Capri. Period. Because I have only ever showed... Yeah, no, I've never showed the Capri, to be honest, at a show. Or at a car meet or anything. It's, so, first for that. Then, on the 10th, if I can make it up there, because again, money-wise, when it comes to like gas and stuff, I'll be actually taking the car around the circuit. The only reason why I'm able to actually do said thing is because there is no tech inspection for this track. Because every year they do this, they rent out this track and just basically, like, if you crash, you're screwed. There's no emergency services for you, but, like, don't even need a helmet, so that's kind of nice because I don't own a helmet. That, and I shouldn't need one in general just because of how slow my car is, but, you know, it's just one of those things. But, you know, that's how it goes. And it's just, it'll be a lot of fun, and I'll probably swap the wheels out at the track, actually. Get rid of those big-ass tires out back and go to the matching CSAs with 195s for the back. Because it'll actually be a lot faster with those tires, and we'll really see, you you know, what I can do on a track, because I've never been around a track. Now, I've played around with my cars a lot, but actually on a track, never. So, it's one of these things, and, like, I know my car incredibly well, too, so that helps out a lot, but, yeah. So that's stuff to look forward to, and then on the 16th might be our last dyno day of the year. Unless if there's some last minute things that get planned. But so far there's been nothing, so we'll see. Because I'd like to have more dyno days. Because the wallet's being thin. Sorry. So 2017 Cayman, huh? You know, it's interesting. Like me with the Cayman, I love the first generation Cayman. Out of all the Porsches, other than some of the other ones, like, it's one of my favorites of that original Cayman. And to be honest, I found it ridiculous that they detuned the Cayman because it was faster than the 911, and the 911 was supposed to be their Halo car, which was the dumbest decision I think Porsche ever made. Because trying to get around the rear-engined nature of the 911 with technology, instead of just investing into the Cayman, which is mid-engine, and doesn't have that tail happiness near as much as the 911 did. You know, but they detuned it because it was faster than the 911, which is so dumb. Now, with just simple little tune, and you can get that power back out of them, but just, yeah. Porsche was always stuck in their ways, man. But you know, it's one of those interesting ideas, because, you know, it's interesting. When Porsche have actually made their fastest cars, I'm talking the 959, the Carrera GT, and the 918, right? The thing is, look at all of those, and hey, they're all mid-engine. Yeah, for a reason, you know? Because, again, the rear-engine design is a terrible design. Other than for maybe maintenance sake, rear-engine might be a little better, but, eh. And I don't understand why, actually, Porsche themselves decided to get rid of the Cayman namesake and replace it by calling it the 718. I never understood that. Yeah, well, yeah, like, mid-engine gives you a lot more stability. It just does. Over a rear-engine design. And, you know, and especially with, like, Porsches, because Porsche is the only one, to my knowledge, that uses a flat 6 within a mid-engine design, because everybody else uses Vs, which there's nothing wrong with a V8, a V10, all that different stuff, of course, or V6, etc., etc. But the flat engines, which are like the boxer motors, those are better for overall center of gravity getting lower and stability. And see, I don't know, maybe, like, to me, it's just kind of odd, because if they wanted to say, well, because we want to get rid of the namesakes and just stick with numbers, well, they still make the Cayman, or not the Cayman, sorry, the Cayenne, and they also have that Macan as as well. So it's like, which are two SUVs. So unless if they were going towards that whole thing, I don't know. It just, again, Porsche's weird. I haven't really kept up with Porsche in a long time. Like I do know, like I said, it's called the 718 now, but other than that, I don't even know how fast the 911 is. It's always been fast, but you know what I mean. Well, exactly. Like I love the name of the Cayman, and I love the look of those original Caymans. Like, they're some of my favorite Porsches. Other than maybe like a 944, because I think a 944 is probably my favorite Porsche, or a 928. Well, 928 without the pop-ups actually up, because when they're down it looks really good. When they're up, it looks kind of ugly. But it's just one of those things, and I just, you know, learn it. Oh god, my hair's just a mess, but oh well, I don't really care that much. I mean, I do, but I don't. Um, but it should be like, it should be fun over the next bit. And there are some things that I really wanted to do this summer that just didn't happen. But yesterday I actually went to Calgary and I rejetted my carburetor. So, if you don't know, I put the Holley carb on the car finally, and it's all sorted now. And the slant nose, okay. Yeah, I mean, the slant nose is cool too, but I still like the 928 and 944 the most. But, yeah, so anyways, like I went to Calgary yesterday, and I got some jets from Mopac, and I visited with my buddy Dieter, and I got to check out his cool collection of cars. I got to actually experience his Mustang, which I didn't drive it, I was just a passenger in it, but which that was cool. And that thing's pretty quick. It's an S197, I believe it's 2014, it's a manual, it's got like 470 horsepower. See, the one thing is, I didn't actually do a video on the installation. I should have, but I mean, it wasn't really much of a video though to do, right? It's no different than like the fuel pump. I did do some short little updates on stuff, but that was it, just as shorts, not as a full video. Because there was some things that I needed to do with the I needed to reroute the fuel line, which, oddly enough, I might be kiboshing that fuel line, because my spare engine has a good fuel line. And yes, you are spelling Holley wrong. Holley is spelled Holley. But, like, I rerouted the fuel line, and that's only like a temporary thing. But I'm probably going to go back to a metal line, because unfortunately I broke my metal line. That's the only reason why that I got rid of it. And yeah, actually that's something that I'll do when I'm up next in Edmonton. I'm going to nab that line off of my parts engine. And it's all good. Because right now the fuel filter is over top of the valve cover, and there's a lot of rubber line, which it's rated for fuel, so it's not a big deal, but metal lines are definitely better. So, that's just one of those things. But initially, when I did the carb installation, because actually I just could not figure that carb out, and turns out that I guess I didn't clean it good enough, and there was a couple other little things in the carburetor. So Roy Marco helped me out with that, and I really appreciate his help. I always appreciate him. But I initially had it jetted to 49s, but I drove it and it was borderline undrivable. Like, it was running so lean that I had to basically rev up the car to 3,000 RPM off the line, otherwise it would stall. So that was really bad. So I leave Roy's. I'm like, I'm already just left. I don't really want to go back there and do the jet change in his driveway. So screw it. I go to my buddy Keith's place and I use his shop. Although I was still kind of doing that outside because there was another Mustang in the shop. But um, so luckily I had some 52 jets on me. So I go to his place, and like again, the thing is lean popping. It's running terribly, to be honest. Like idling great, but the rest of it was just bad, bad. So I get to my buddy Keith's place, which is about a 30-minute drive from where Roy's is, and well, it was out of the way for where I wanted to really go, but I'm still going southbound, so it didn't really matter. Um, it probably added about 20 minutes to my trip, excluding actually working on the car. And bear in mind, I'm only running off of about 3 hours of sleep at this point, and I had been awake for about 18 or 19 hours, so, you know, it wasn't great. But I get to a shop, I take the bowl of the jet, or the bowl of the carburetor off, and I replace the two jets. I went from 49s to 52s. Then, you know, got it all buttoned up and got back on the road. Still tired as hell, but I needed to get home because I needed to feed my cats. Like, I didn't actually get home till about 2 o'clock in the morning. It was really bad. But, so I do that, you know, and something, I just like, but I knew it was still running a little too lean. I still needed to rev it up a bit, on launch, more so than I need. Well, I don't even need to rev it up at all unless if I'm going uphill or on an incline now, which is good, which is like how it was before. I can just ease into it a little bit. So hey, well, no, that this was on Saturday, so this was a few days ago. But yeah, so doing that on Saturday, got back home, but it was still running lean because I could tell I was still getting lean popping. If, as an example, I was in 5th gear and I didn't realize, but like I was really tired, and I let off the gas a bit while I was driving, just because again, really damn tired, and it goes down to 80 kilometers an hour, and then all of a sudden it starts lean popping again. I'm like, okay, so obviously I need to jet this up some more. So then yesterday, I went to Calgary, got some jets from OPAC, and rejetted the carb again, up to 56s this time, and that seems to do the trick. I haven't pulled the plugs to see how they look, but the car is running good. It's getting good fuel economy. You know, I'm quite happy with it at the moment. I just need to figure out an air cleaner because it hasn't had an air cleaner for the past bit since that carb. Because it's just, I need an air cleaner spacer that is bigger. But what I might actually do, I might modify one that I have to fit. So this Holly carb is weird because like it has a 5/8 stud as an example for the air cleaner, and it also has like a 4 or 4.5 inch base. So I have one that is, it doesn't quite fit. So what I'm thinking of doing is, it's metal. I got it off of Roy. I think it's off of a Chevy truck. I'm gonna cut it with my angle grinder, and once I cut it, I'm going to spread that out a bit. I have some metal here that I'm going to just roughly, you know, sort of hammer in so that it kind of contours a bit with it, and I'm going to weld it back in. So then once I do that, then I can mount my air filter on the car, and it's not a problem. And I have a bolt that's a 5/8 coarse thread bolt that I'll just use instead of a wing nut. It'll work. It's fine. So that's kind of the plan. And I might tackle that spacer tomorrow. And and that's one thing actually, because people think that, oh, you need to run a carb stud. Well, that's not true. And with the spacer, I'm going to be running into clearance issues with the hood. I know I am. So with the bolts, I can get the length just perfect with the bolt a lot easier than you can with a carb stud. And that's the one thing with that, it doesn't need to be on there much, right? And a bolt sits flatter than a wing nut, so just again, a little extra clearance. We'll see if I'll be hitting the hood or not. It's gonna be close, very close. I already know I had some clearance issues before, so we shall see how it goes. Hopefully I just barely clear it. If not, I might be hammering the hood a bit. Just full disclosure. So, yeah. You won't see that in time, though, because after I fix the hood scoop, get that all good and back together again, and bolt it back to the car, you won't see that damage on the hood unless I have the hood popped. I mean, with a carb stud, you can, yeah. But, to be honest, though, with a carb stud, you're still going to be working a wing nut, though, right? And a wing nut, sits like yay high, where a bolt head only sits like yay high, right? It's not much, but every millimeter counts. So, it's just one of these deals, and because now, if I run into, where no matter what, I'm running into issues, I might take the curb off the car and go about, actually, there's a spacer on it. I might get rid of that spacer, run my PCV, and set it to where it is on the spacer. I might run the PCV around and to the port that I have blocked off for the carburetor, and that might do the trick. So, yeah, exactly. It's just you don't have as much grip. Where with a bolt, it's not a big deal, and with the bolt, you don't have to have it super tight or anything, right? You can just do it by hand and just get it hand tight. And if it backs off a bit, it backs off a bit. It's not a big deal. And to be honest, there are ways that you can do it that's not janky at all. So, it's just, it's something that I'll figure out. But the beauty of customization, eh? Because, this is the stuff that you don't think about. This is the stuff that, that nobody thinks about when you're trying to adapt stuff together. You don't think of these minute details that can throw you off. And what's the beauty of all the rest of this is it's not going to cost me anything. It is. Doing all this, though, it doesn't cost me anything, and that's the beauty of it. At least this portion of it, because I have the parts, I have the metal, I can just do what I want. The only thing that might cost me money is that if I need to get some hose. But that's it. It's quite nice. And something I haven't done is pull the plugs to see how they look now after being rejetted and after, having, put on a little over 100 kilometers on those plugs. So, we shall see, though. And, It's just, the fun nature of this kind of thing, though. Nice. But yeah, like, because, and this is stuff that, like, I've never really done kind of custom fabrication before. So doing this air cleaner spacer, this will be the first. And, like, literally, all I'm going to do is, because, yeah, cut it, going to stretch it out a bit. I don't have a vise, so I'll just walk over to my buddy Lance's place and just borrow his vise really quick. I'll just drive my car over there and just borrow his vise and do that. And then once I have it to where I like it, to where I know it's gonna fit, it's stretched out, then I'll go about doing the cutting out the metal that I have, and welding it in myself. Because that way I can say I did it versus having Lance do it or having any of my other friends do it. So yeah, it's just that sort of thing. And I can say like I've done a lot of stuff on my own car, but the more stuff I can do on my car, like the happier I am. But yeah, I wonder. Yeah. Oh hey. Oh no, I don't have that. What do you mean? Like a progress video series. What do you mean by that? Like how I've like where the car has come from and that sort of thing, or because like the only way I can do that is via pictures, which I kind of did a YouTube short of that, but it's you don't see much in that video to be honest. It does have like 5,100 views, but like because I don't have any video. Actually, I might. Oh yeah, no, I'll film that 100%. It's one of these things that'll just be a cool thing. Yeah, I can do that. Of course, I kind of planned on it. Um, and it's just one of these cool things of being able to do that. And then plus, maybe you'll see actually shots of Lance's truck in there, which his truck is so cool. And because he's trying to build himself like a stock car truck, but like street legal stock car truck, out of a 1980 or 81, I think, C10. It's got a Chevrolet 302 pushing about 500 or 600 horsepower, and he's got like a 200 shot of nitrous to it. Now, unfortunately, I would have done a video on that truck, but he's been having torque converter issues, so that's not going to happen. Probably not till next year. Until I do a review of his truck. It'll be so much fun. I've driven his truck before, but it broke on me. It was an oil fitting that went. It happens. It would have went on him too if he did the same thing as I did. So, and he also fixed the issue of it just hopping out so quickly because it would not shift into third and it would not shift into fourth. With that 700R4 that he has in it. So, some minor like some things that he's had to fix. But, and that truck is just so cool. And, like, he recently took the bed off. He cut the bed floor out of it. And he's just using the box sides. And he has it all welded in place right now. And with small little supports that are, like, coat hangers, pretty much. That are, like, straight, like, similar metal to coat hangers anyways. Similar size. And it's amazing that with, like, 3 supports all along it, it's, like, really stiff. I mean, to be honest, this little thing, anybody could do what I'm about to do tomorrow. It's not that hard. It's just takes a bit of time. And it's not going to be the prettiest thing in the world. It's just going to be something to get me by. That's all it is. And then, yeah, the whole thing with the PCV, because we'll see with that spacer if I'm going to have to ditch that spacer or not. And then run a different line for the PCV to the carburetor instead. Or, not, instead of the carburetor base to, well, actually it would be the carburetor base that it'd be running to, but we'll see, because that's the vacuum port on that carb that you can use for your vacuum advance on your distributor, or you can probably use it for this too. So I can imagine. But it's just one of these things. And because unfortunately, like, you can't run PCV to the intake. Otherwise, I just would. It'd be easier. Oh yeah. Like, we'll see. And again, it's not going to be a pretty piece, especially with the welder I have. I don't have gas for it, so it's just going to be straight up flux core. And we'll see. And the metal I have is not very thick, so, we'll see how it goes. And hopefully I don't melt too much. And, it might just be a disaster, but we'll see. Because I'm dealing with not thick metal, and that's kind of the issue. But it's the nature of things, right? It's the nature of what I've been given and my budget. Because I have, like, zero money right now. I have, like, $30 to my name, maybe, if that. No, it's not steampunk. Steampunk is different. Because steampunk is intentional. This isn't intentional. This is not intentionally being made to look like this. And I'm going to hammer it, and it's going to look like shit. But it's going to work, and I'm just going to have it turned around so you don't see it. Because I don't have an English wheel, otherwise I would do it properly, Because, like, steampunk is intentional, and steampunk is a certain style. Steampunk doesn't look like shit. Steampunk is, a lot of, like, brass sort of thing, and a lot of, like, cast stuff. That's steampunk. This is just shitbox. Shitbox styling right there. But it should work out okay. And, and I haven't welded in a while, so this will be, something to brush that up on. And, it should work out really good. Just hopefully it's just, again, not too thin. Because it might be. Well, I mean, it's because it's interesting because, like, shitbox can be an endearing term, but at the same time it also can be sort of not necessarily derogatory, but I'm trying to think of the word to use for that, but not necessarily a great term. It's depending on how it's used, and to be honest, like, you should never call somebody else's vehicle a shitbox, but, you can call your own a shitbox. It's just kind of a weird thing that way. It's kind of like making fun of yourself. You can make fun of yourself, but you can't make fun of others. Similar aspect. And, it's just one of those things. But yeah, but shitbox styling is the best way to describe that. Because, I just, like, my fabrication skills, they're not the best. I mean, I've done some stuff, but nothing like that. And again, it's not that hard, it's just dealing with thin metals, that's the hard part. Because you never know how they're going to weld. You never know if you're just going to burn through it and melt the metal that you're working with. Like, you just don't know. Right? But it's something that, I'll figure out. I have, like, the metal that I have welded with it a bit. I was doing some tests with that specific piece of metal. I've had it around for years. And so, yeah, and I should be able to find a piece of it that I can cut up and bend into place and make it work. Now, and with with luck, I might be able to make it so that I don't have to use a hammer hardly at all. I might be able to make it work with just sticking it in a vise and bending it, or um, just even with my hands bending it to my own will, because it's not. Again, it's not like super thick metal, so it shouldn't really be a problem. But and welding is an art. Like I can weld. Don't get me wrong. I have welded not like a ton, but I've welded before. And my weld stick. At least if the welder I'm using is good. But that's the one thing. These welds don't have to be amazing, because all it's doing is holding up an air filter that weighs like less than a pound. So it's fine, right? Or actually might be a little more than a pound, but regardless, it's not heavy. There's gonna be like no stress on those welds at all. Like hell, if I really wanted to shitbox this, I could just drill holes and zip tie it together, but I actually want kind of a seam properly versus, that. So yeah, because I'm not gonna zip tie it. It'd be funny if I did, but I'm not going to. But, unless if I just really screw up with trying to weld that metal, then it might get zip tied, but I doubt I'll do that. But, like, in something that I actually did, which is actually in my car... No, I won't. Like, the thing is, for it to have an effect on... vibrations to affect even, like, welds, you'd have to have some pretty serious vibration. Like the engine is about to blow up. It's shaking so hard, and even then, I don't think so. Like, welds, even flux core welds, take quite a bit. Like, as an example, so... Stitch, which is, my Mustang. Because now I don't even have to say 81 anymore, because both the cars are 1981. So, like, my Mustang, the thing is, the floor mounts in that car or the seat mounts in that car, I welded in with my flux core welder. It's not pretty, but the welds stick, and that's all that matters. It's been on there for 3 years now. So, like, that's the one thing. You can, if you take the carpet out, you'd be able to see it. But, it's just the nature of how I had to do it. Because I had welded it in before, and the welding was bad. So, yeah. It's just one of these things, Oh, I don't care. Oh, isn't that wonderful? Freaking math bridge. But yeah, so it's just one of these things. So talking about that seat mount. So, the seat mounts on Foxbodies, it's actually... Stitch isn't blue, no. Both the cars are gray. So, Stitch is the Mustang, and then the other one's the Capri. Because, again, I haven't named the Capri yet. So, in time. I didn't think of Stitch right away. Lilo I had as a name right away because of Lilo and Stitch, but I'm not going to name it Lilo because that's lazy. Ah, old school! Hey, it's been a long time. How's it going? Pretty late for you to be on the live, but hey, I appreciate it nonetheless. If you're wondering, old school, he's a Honda dude that used to be on the channel all the time in my live streams and everything, and I guess he's just been busy, which is okay. He has his own channel as well if you want to check it out. He He does a lot of thrift store stuff, and he does some automotive stuff as well, checking out people's cars and stuff like that, and doing some content on his own Hondas and all that stuff. See, now it's funny because I had said that, and you said, "Oh no! I'm not here for the Honda. I'm here just for your content." I'm like, "Uh huh." And look at that, you disappeared for months. I do miss the Honda, but you know. Actually, did you see? So I did a quick little video. It's just of a YouTube short. There will be full videos on those cars later on. Um, Old school. Have you seen the one of the most recent shorts I did? I posted it yesterday. Of there is an '88 CRX which hadn't seen the light of day in 23 years. Well, I shouldn't say light of day, but it hasn't moved under its own power in 23 years. There was also my car in that video as well, and there was an Integra Type R, although technically not a Type R, but all the bits on it are Type R. Like, it's got a K24 in it, it's making about 220 horsepower, it's got spoon, brake calipers, it's got Advan wheels, he's got some Recaro seats to throw in it, you know, all this stuff. It's really cool. Um, and yeah, it's like mint condition too. His cars are not like mine, like they're flawless. Although the CRX, it does need to be put together a little bit, but that'll take him like a day. It's just some of the interior panels where he was messing with some stuff, so. Sure. See if I can find it here. Let's see if I can find it. I mean, I can find it on YouTube, obviously, and then I need to make sure if I still have my Instagram on this phone. Yeah. Let's take a look here. Shorts. There it is. So check this out. I'm actually at my buddy Peter's. There we go. Copy link. Let's see, do I still have Instagram on here? Yes, it is. Is it still logged in though? Oh, it's not logged in. Ooh, if I can remember my password. Oh wait, no, that's not my password. What the hell is that? It's giving me an unexpected error to log in, so I don't remember my password off the top of my head, but I'll figure it out. It's not a big deal. Worst case scenarios is after the live. I can do that. Or, actually, you know what? I can do this. Hang on. Wait, no, you wouldn't be able to copy that. Or can you? No, that wouldn't work. Never mind. Never mind. I'm just not thinking with my head. But, yeah, I mean, but you know, just cool cars and fast cars too, because they both make approximately 220 horsepower. But the CRX is considerably lighter than the Integra. Yes, it is. You'll see a yellow Integra with 895 views. It's not far down. It's like the fourth one down, I think. And again, it's like a minute long. So if you wanted to click on that and go look, you can. It's not a big deal. I'll be here when you get back. Yeah, okay, there you go. Yeah, it's like I said, just a short little video. And I'll be doing full videos on that CRX and that Integra at some point. I meant to do, you know, yep, black CRX. It's an '88. I didn't mention that in the little video there. It's got a K24 in it. You know, it's a manual, of course, and it's gorgeous. You know, and I'm just sad that, you know, Keith didn't end up buying that CRX that was at auction a while back. Right? Right? Like, both those cars are just gorgeous. And that's one thing. Like I like having automotive friends and like especially automotive friends that have money because they have cars like that. But that's one thing. Those two cars, he doesn't have like a ton of money into those two cars. Like that Integra, it has an interesting story. So it was fully imported by a kid, and a shop was gonna do. Oh, that sucks. But it happens. I mean, any valve stem, like rubber valve stem, they don't last like a terribly long time, anyways. Whether it's rubber or whether it's metal, so they last about the same amount of time. Just the metal ones look better. But um, you know, it's just one of those things. And but yeah, like that Integra, because the story on that was like I mentioned, it was imported to Canada and all legal and everything, and it was sent to this to a mechanic shop, and this shop was going to do about $10,000 worth of motor work to this car, and you know the kid that imported it, he gave a deposit down, and he did like one payment, but then he defaulted on his payments for 6 months. And finally, the shop called Dieter. I'm like, hey, we got this Integra here. Do you want it? Are you interested in it? And he went to go take a look, and then he asked how much is owing on it. It was $4,500. I'm like, and so he really whipped out the cash. I'm like, yeah, sure, that's what's owing on it. I'll pay that, and I'll take the car off your hands. Absolutely. So he got that Integra. He did all the motor work himself, and it needed a paint job, so he put a paint job on it. Basically, he's like 27 grand into that car. It got appraised for 60. Like, he does really well on his cars. He doesn't lose money at all, you know. But he told me like there might be an opportunity for a $500 like 84 or 85 Civic, which I don't have the money for, but I might ask him about it though again if he wants to get me the details of that, because who knows, maybe like if I can figure out something, because it'd be cool have a little Civic as a project car, do some work to it, flip it, make some money, move on from it. Because I can't afford to own a bunch of cars at the moment. So, otherwise, I'd love to keep it because, I like those Civics. They're cool. It's after they got away from that ugly styling that they got in 1980. It's like it's the generation after that, because I think that's the EF Civic, something like that. I can't remember the designations, because I know like there's the EK, the EG, the EF. And EP, I think? I can't remember. But, regardless, it's, we'll see. Who knows? It might actually be a good car, or it might just be a complete pile of crap. You never know. Because he gets, like, really good deals and stuff. And plus, like, he worked for, like, JB Power Center for a long time. So, he gets those, he still gets really good deals on stuff and everything, and no, it's not a real Type R, but everything done to it is basically a Type R. But yeah, it's not a real one. But hey, it's still appraised for $60,000, so it's pretty good. Because it was like the highest model of Integra that we got here that wasn't a Type R, or highest model in Japan, I should say, because it is right-hand drive. Trying to think of what the model would have been, GSR or something, or we had GSR here. I don't know if they had it over there, but regardless, it was the highest model prior to or before the Type R, basically. So, but it's still really cool. You'd be surprised, because the one thing is, you don't find them that clean. The thing is, because a real Type R is 100 grand, right? But that is a Type R that, and it's kind of better, to be honest. Yeah, like, and that car doesn't have like any miles on it or anything. Like, it's just a really beautiful car. There isn't a single flaw in that paint underneath. It's all brand new, looking beautiful under the hood. Just the upgrades that are done under the hood. It's gorgeous. Like, it's amazing. And like he knows his Hondas very well. He did play with some American cars back in the day, but he's been mostly on the Japanese strain. See, 94s. See, 94. I'm trying to think. Is that the? I think that's the first year of that new body style of the Celica, the last of the rear-wheel drive ones. They have, the four individual headlights instead of the two pop-up lights. Because I love the two pop-up lights one the most, which I think it was like 88 to like 93 or something like that. That is still my favorite. There's actually one in town. I know where it parks. I've always wanted to talk to the owner about it. He has a Celica All-Track of that generation. It's burgundy, and I haven't seen it on the road in a long time. I saw it on the road like twice, and now it's been sitting there for like I think about 2 years now. It's like, why? I want to, you know, I would love to play with that thing. It's one of my favorite cars of all time. I, ever since I saw the rally car version of that, and that's what I'd love to do to one, is turn it into looking like that Castrol rally car. See, the interesting thing is, because where you are, yeah, you're probably not going to find any old Hondas there, but out here in Alberta, there's still a lot. Um, 88 Accord with 6,500 kilometers? Was that at a dealership, or was that somebody's car? Because, I mean, brand new. Ah, okay. That's cool. Like, interestingly, my dad owned an 87 Accord. Now, his was really rusty, and there's a reason why we got rid of it. I will check out that video when I can. Definitely, because that's really cool. But, like, my dad owned an 87. It had over 400,000 kilometers on it. Really rusty. It was so rusty, in fact, it was getting dangerously rusty, and that was the problem with it. My dad owned it for about a year. And it had a JDM motor swap. So instead of having I think it was about 90 horsepower or maybe 100 horsepower that they had, here, it was closer to 140 horsepower. So the thing was actually quite quick. It was a 5-speed manual, and it was just a ton of fun. It's the only time that I've seen my dad do a reverse 180. And he did it in a very short space, too. That's one thing, because my dad can drive. He chooses to drive normally, like, almost all the time, and he doesn't really play with cars very often. But, when he does, he can drive. Because I've seen it a few times in my life. And, yeah, that Accord was so cool. Because, because 87, I think 88... Was 88 the split year where it could have either pop-ups or fixed headlights? I'm trying to remember what year it was that was the split year for the Accord. And it's interesting because a two-door Accord was almost identical to a Prelude. 89 was the split year, okay. I couldn't remember. Because I can't remember, were the fixed headlights, were they an option? Or was the pop-up lights an option? Or I can't remember. Or was it a mid-year thing? I I don't remember. It's been a while. I used to know this information, but that's when I was a lot younger. When my dad owned that car, which bear in mind, my dad owned that car. I was like 13, so long time ago. Actually, no, I think it was younger than that. Maybe in 12 or even 11. Because we actually took that thing out to Kelowna one year, for was it for Christmas or for just summer vacation? I don't remember. But yeah, regardless. Oh god, why am I so tired? Like, I'm actually running on a decent amount of sleep, but yeah, see, in '88, like I said, that I no worries, old school. Talk to you later, and I'll definitely check out your video on that Accord. That's way cool. Especially with one being like that, with no miles on it. Like that's just incredible. You never see them like that. Like it's unusual to see many cars like that, but let alone Accord. It's for sale on Marketplace. I can imagine he's probably asking a pretty penny for it, too. But yeah, I'll definitely check it out. And like yeah, '88 Celica. Yeah, I know that's the generation. 28 grand. I can see him going for that. It's kind of a weird one because it's an Accord, but it's got no miles on it. So I can see that. It's just yeah, and especially over there, it's probably worth more in Toronto than it is here in Alberta. Oh, it's a two-door and a 5-speed. Yeah, that definitely adds to it. Yeah, it's not just your basic Accord at that point. No sunroof. See, it's interesting because actually finding them with no sunroof is almost rarer than finding them with a sunroof. Because even my dad's, it had a sunroof, and that thing never leaked. It was amazing. It's the only sunroof I've ever seen that didn't leak. Period. And unless if it was like pouring rain, then you would actually have only if it was open. Because like with it open, you could be driving through the rain and it was no problem. No water would get inside. Pretty cool. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I can't open that right now because it would screw with the live, but I'll check it out later. But, yeah, ugh, God, again, I'm just so tired, I don't know why. It's only 11 o'clock, like, not even 11 o'clock, actually. But yeah, no worries, old school, hope you have a fantastic sleep, and we'll talk later at some point. Ugh. But, ugh, I don't know why, again, just so tired. Yeah, I mean, it's only 10:50 here, so. Yeah, 10:50, yeah. Had to look at the clock carefully. But, actually, I think, because, yeah, all of a sudden I just got really tired. I think I'm going to sign off here. So I really appreciate everybody coming out. It was such a good chat. Just again, I just got really tired all of a sudden, and just my brain is just shutting down. So, thank you all for coming out, and hope to see you in the next one.